we need across our city. 88,000 homes a year. Even if the member tries to rewrite history with Bexley and Bromley, we're not going to get there on just those brownfield sites. We also know there's a lot of greenbelt site that is inaccessible, poor quality, badly maintained. So I don't apologise. As one of the ways to address the housing crisis, we will be working with councils and developers, attaching conditions and building on some of those poor, inaccessible, badly maintained greenbelt sites.
Mr Mayor, I think you've proven today that once again you ignore the facts. The facts are that councils like Bexley and Bromley have consistently approved enough homes to meet your target. The people who aren't delivering the homes are the people you're rewarding. So you're spineless against developers, you're spineless against trade unions, you're spineless against this anti-London government. We can all see whose priorities you are on, or whose side you're on, Mr Mayor, and it certainly isn't the side of Londoners.
Well, that's very well read. Well done.
Assembly Member Garrett.
Morning, and a Merry Christmas to you and your family. So here's another area where you might say that you're on the side of Londoners. The government announced yesterday the return of the Erasmus scheme, which is a really lovely scheme. It's something you've campaigned for and you have welcomed, and it's a great opportunity for those young people who go on it, but it is immensely expensive. So I would ask you, for the cost of replacing for the cost of the... I'm sorry, there's some staggering rudeness from some of my colleagues here. For the cost of 1 year of the Erasmus scheme, you could replace the Hammersmith Bridge 3 times over. Which one of those two do you think Londoners would prefer to see happen?
Well, I'm really surprised that the member isn't aware about the ownership of the bridge. The bridge is owned by the council. Not the GLA or the TfL. He'll be aware of the rules in relation to capital receipts, in relation to transport receipts, in relation to council ownership. He also will know the idea that you pivot and switch funding for a central government scheme that brings us in close alignment with the European Union, gives huge opportunities to young Londoners, supports London businesses and increases connectivity between London and the European Union. Is very different from the previous government's failure to support the council. We're hoping, working with this government, working with the council, we'll be able to have some good news for the residents and those around Hammersmith and Fulham.
Sure, so this government has done nothing on Hammersmith Bridge and they've spent all the money on Erasmus, 3 years worth of... 3 times the cost of fixing Hammersmith Bridge. So the West London Orbital, for less than 1 year's cost of Erasmus, you could do brand new railway line from Hounslow, Hendon, West Hampstead. What do you think Londoners would prefer?
Well, I'm really pleased that members give me a chance to talk about the good news from the budget documents.
I haven't asked you to talk about the good news. I've asked you which one you think Londoners would prefer. Life's about choices, Mr Mayor. You've campaigned for Erasmus. It's very clear. Lots of your colleagues here think it's a brilliant thing. I actually think it's quite a nice thing. It's expensive, and that money could have been used for something else. So do you think Londoners would prefer 1 year of Erasmus or to build the West London Orbital?
Well, according to the Brexit posters, we were going to get back £350 million a week when we left the European Union. That 1 week's worth of Brexit money pays for the bridge and some.
So I notice you refuse to answer on that either. There's a Docklands Light Railway extension into Thamesmead. That's a bit more expensive than the other two. That's actually, the entire project is 2 years' worth of Erasmus. So do you think it would be better to have the entire DLR line extension into Thamesmead funded, or would it be better to have 2 years of Erasmus?
So, Chair, I'm really surprised the members missed out the great news on the DLR extension to Thamesmead, or the great news in relation to the innovative funding that government's going to work with us in relation to the West London Orbital and
Sorry, how much have the government given us for the DLR, Mr.
extension.
Mayor? How much have they given us for the DLR?
So the government has confirmed there'll be funding, part of the cost for the DLR, and just like the Elizabeth line, and just like the Northern Line extension, we'll be using innovative funding in relation to the further cost of those projects. He will know, I hope, that the Elizabeth line was funded partly by the government, about a third. The other 2/3 by us borrowing in terms of London taxpayers paying and businesses. The Northern Line extension also was funded by future receipts. Similarly, the DLR extension to Thamesmead will be a combination of central government funding confirmed in the budget and us borrowing against future receipts as well. And the innovative funding the government's agreed to in the budget document in relation to West London Orbital and in relation to Baker Line extension is fantastic news for London and fantastic news for those of us who are passionate about improving transport infrastructure. I'm really surprised that members against
You're not
those.
passionate about improving transport infrastructure. You're passionate about Erasmus, and that's fine. It's a perfectly lovely scheme, but it's immensely expensive. And as you've just confirmed, what the government is saying is we can build a DLR extension and we can pay for it by borrowing money. And the money that the government could have given us to do that, they've spent on Erasmus, which you've campaigned for. And I've just asked you which of those you think would be better, and you just refused to engage with the question. So about an even bigger project, the Bakerloo Line extension, that's maybe 4 billion or so. That's only 5 years worth of Erasmus. So in less than a decade, we could have the Bakerloo Line extension into all the way down to South London. We could have the DLR extension into South London. We could have the West London Orbital linking West and North London. And we could have the Hammersmith Bridge replaced. And instead, we will have an Erasmus scheme. And you really think the Erasmus scheme is better than all of that?
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Fine.
Well, he's not going to answer the question, is he?
Well, you've not given him a chance yet. He's about to. He's
So what was that
pressed
long
on the mic.
pause, Chair?
Mr. Mayor, we'd like to hear you.
And the idea that he was chastising the Lib Dems for being rude, I mean, it's quite remarkable, the chutzpah of this guy. So we were promised, if we voted to leave the European Union, we were promised, according to the Brexiteers, every week, a cheque for £350 million every week. That cheque never arrived, let alone it bouncing. What this government is doing, which I fully support, is closer alignment with our nearest trading partner. Every successful economy in the world does the most trade with its nearest partner. Now, the joy of the Erasmus scheme is it allows youth mobility. People who've previously been in Erasmus are now not just leaders of European countries and British countries, but chief executives involved in venture capital, involved in leading businesses. That hinterland we built up over successive decades has helped us be prosperous, and I'm really happy that from January 27, there'll be a new generation of British young people, not just Londoners, it's very parochial, British young Londoners, but also European young people coming to our country, learning from each other, helping fill the gaps in
He's just monologuing now, Chair. I think I've given him enough time.
But also
It's
going
very
back to country
obvious.
of origin,
I think you've
for
had
having
enough
fallen
time,
in love
Mr. Mayor.
with
You're not answering the
London.
question.
And I'm really disappointed that
Chair,
members
he's
talking down
monologuing.
young
Look,
people and
this
talking
is
down
about
the European Union.
short-term vibes
Thank you.
versus building a better long-term future for Londoners. A century from now, people could be enjoying stuff which Labour is not building. You've chosen your side. It's the wrong one. Thank you, Chair.
OK, let's move on. Assembly Member Clark.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, it was easy to get lost in all that questioning because I believe the question was about being on the side of Londoners. But speaking of being on the side of Londoners, what difference has policies like the delivery of 100 million free school meals made to families in London?
Which I can hear a groan from another route Conservative, because they voted against and have regularly spoken against universal free school meals. I remember a phrase used by a Conservative, and I quote, "There's no such thing as a free meal. There's no such thing as a free lunch." So I'm incredibly proud that we've shown our commitment to children in our city by, for the first time ever, making sure every child that goes to primary school receives a nutritious free meal. And the difference it makes is to the child, their ability to learn. It affects the child's behaviour. They're better behaved. It means that the relationships between a school and parents are less adversarial because you're not chasing school dinner debt. We know the difference is made to the families whose children go to primary schools. Each child in a primary school per year, that family saves £500 a year. Just imagine if you've got 2 or 3 additional children. Add to that this government's policy of free breakfast, which has been rolled out across London. We've got the potential now of our children going to school, having a healthy breakfast, a healthy lunch, and we know that not just improves the quality of life for the child, their family, but it increases productivity because the child is learning more as well. I'm just disappointed. There are some of the Assembly who were against that policy, are still against that policy, which is one of the reasons why they're trying to talk over us talking about these achievements.
No, I think you're right. I mean, it's not just that parents and teaching staff and children value these meals. It really shows London's children how loved and wanted they are in our city, and it gives them the springboard for a happy, healthy early childhood onto those crucial teenage years. In my constituency, in Barnet anyway, 4.8 million free school meals have been delivered, and in Camden it's 1.1 million, which is a huge number. As well as saving parents money, I think there's a real pride here. And do you share my pride in the impact it's having on children's learning and behaviour in the classroom?
I mean, all of us as adults, as rational, logical adults, have had the feeling of being hungry. Combination of being hungry and affecting our mood. Imagine being a child, the impact it has on you, particularly if you've skipped breakfast for a variety of reasons. Sometimes we know some busy parents are sometimes, in the past were packing their kids packed lunches that may not have been the most nutritional as well. And what this has done is taken the pressure off the parents, but also making sure those children are having a nutritious lunch, which means they learn more. They learn more in the classroom, they have better behaviour, but also we know it means that teachers aren't worried about their pupils, parents aren't worried about having to skip meals to make sure their kids can eat. And this will pay dividends in years to come by them doing better at school academically, but also the soft skills, them breaking bread with friends of different backgrounds, not having to sit on a separate table because they got the free school meal voucher. And all the evidence from the first 2 and a bit years is it's been a huge boon for our young people, our schools and our city. And that's why my pledge is, as long as I may, I'll carry on providing universal free school meals.
Thank you so much for that, and I look forward to further questions.